Hi! In this video, I would like to introduce you to one of my favorite frameworks to think about leadership. I use this leadership framework almost with every client I work with, particularly when I'm training younger leaders, but also when I'm working with leadership teams, when I'm looking at what kind of modes they can use to lead their teams. I learned this from a book. It's a book by Armin Trost. It's a book I very much recommend. It's in German, which is called Das Richtige Führungsverständnis. And the title of the book is Wie Sie Ihre Führungsrolle definieren, vermitteln und wirksam umsetzen. It's a short little book. It's highly practical. I can only recommend it. And from this book, I'm going to introduce you this idea of the 4 styles of leadership. Okay? Assuming this is your employee, this is your team member, and I'm going to illustrate this framework with an example. And the example is the employee comes to you or sends you an email saying, "Boss, we have this problem, what should we do?" Okay? The default mode is that you act as boss. In the boss role, you would look at the employee's email, you would think what needs to be done, and then you say, "Look, I recommend we do this," or "I recommend you to do this." So essentially you're telling your employee what he or she should do. Then there is a second mode. This is the partner mode. Okay? When you're in partner mode, you ask the employee, "Let's sit together and see what we could do. Let's discuss this together." Partner with the employee to find a solution. Then another mode is the coach mode. The coach mode is a mode where you ask questions. You would ask the employee, "Well, what are your options? What did you think? What is exactly the problem? What you see as the problem? What you see as solutions? Why would you choose this solution over another?" So you're in a mode where you're asking questions. And finally, there is the enabler mode. In enabler mode, you would think, "Oh, what type of training would I need to provide? What type of structures would I need to put in place so that my employees, my team members are more able to solve the kind of questions we are facing here?" Now, what Armin Trost says is that every leader has a primary and a secondary role. So although we can switch and it's sensible to move between the different modes, we tend to have our favorites or have our default roles. And typically you have a primary role and a secondary role. Take an example, I'm with a team I'm working with. I'm working with two young leaders where one has clearly a boss type of preference, where this is someone who would like to tell other people what to do, and we're trying to develop more the partner role, that instead of simply telling people what to do, should try to work together. The other team member is more an enabler type, and here we're looking at, okay, could you move from the enabler to maybe also a coach role, so you'd be coach enabler or coach partner. Now, what's interesting about these 4 modes is that depending on the situation, a mode would be more appropriate or not. For example, the boss role is appropriate where the employee simply does not have the skills, where discussion doesn't make sense, it's not necessary, where there's a certain sense of urgency. Okay? So that's a typical mode where you would apply the boss mode. Then there's the partner mode. In the partner mode, it's a mode where you would typically use when you yourself also don't have the answer directly and you're trying to solve a problem together. So partner is typically a problem-solving mode. We have the coach mode. In the coach mode, the focus is on developing the employee. It's in employee development. So that's the objective of this mode. That's the purpose of this mode. And finally, in the enabler mode, you're trying to build structures, systems, etc. to enable the employee and to enable the organization. So that's a short overview of one of my favorite frameworks. I hope you found this useful. If yes, please click like and subscribe to the channel. And see you again in the next video. Take care and have a good week.